Hey guys, guess what? Guess where we are? Where are
Nippon. Konnichiwa.
we? We're in Japan, and this is my first time here. Her first time in
26 years.
26 years.
Yeah.
And we've always wanted to come. It's kind of been, one of our bucket list things, and we've always talked about it. And we're like, it's always been one of those, well, next year, next year, next year. And this year was our 25th wedding anniversary, and we were finally just like, we're going to go. Right, we're going to do it. So here we are. We made it. We're about halfway through our trip right now. So I thought we would stop and do it. We're actually in a place called Kanazawa now. And this is, oh geez, what is this? Our third stop, something like that.
Fourth stop.
And we're going to go back. We're going to kind of talk a little bit about our preparation, what we did to get here. And like a lot of people, we went to YouTube. We watched a lot of videos, a lot of prep, advice videos, travel advice videos telling you like, oh, you should do this, you should do this. This is how to do this. And we're going to talk about kind of like what has worked, what hasn't worked, and kind of what we just figured out on our own and things that we recommend.
Sounds good.
So anyway, you want to start talking about like some of the things we did to prepare to get here?
Yes. So, of course, Beans watched a lot of YouTube, but I was in charge of itinerary because of my somewhat familiarity with the country and places I knew I wanted to visit that I didn't get to visit the first time I was here. I chose the itinerary. Now, I did consult Beans on some of it, but I was pretty much, this is where we're going to go because it can be overwhelming, especially if you don't have any previous experience. Now, of course, you can see all the videos where people are like, go here, go here. And that did inspire us a little bit, but for the most part, I just chose where I wanted to go and places I knew Beans would like. But I highly recommend this YouTube channel called Kinsho Quest. I utilize them a lot for practical reasons, not just, hey, go here for this food or go here for this. They actually teach you how to use JR passes, Suica cards, teaches you how to pack. But I recommend them. But my biggest tool I utilized was actually ChatGPT. Depending on how you feel about AI, I don't have a problem with utilizing it when it's for something that I need assistance with. I don't use AI to do silly things, but I do use it to, help me with research, and it was invaluable. I would put, hey, I want to go here, but, I want to be within 10, 15 minutes of a train station or a particular area I wanted to visit, and it would recommend like the top 5 hotels. And so far, every hotel I've picked was recommended by ChatGPT, and then I researched it. And I think so far they've been hits.
Yeah. The only caveat I would put on that is if you do use ChatGPT or some AI, just trust but verify.
Yes.
If it gives you some information, it wouldn't hurt to just find that information in an independent source that's not AI. Maybe even if it's a review of the place or something like that. But just you want to be careful and just not put complete faith in ChatGPT, which we did not.
Yeah, it even says on ChatGPT, hey, verify the important stuff. And actually what I would then do is I use Booking.com, which is a really reputable site. So ChatGPT would recommend like top 5 hotels. I'd ask some prompt questions, and from there I'd pick 1 or 2. I'd go to Booking.com, I'd read reviews, I'd read amenities, I would verify the hotel's location from where I wanted, whether it was a train station or perhaps an attraction I was interested in. And then I would verify using that. And I made all my reservations through Booking.com. And so far, they haven't failed us. All the reservations have been legit. I get to communicate with the property using Booking.com, which I have, just to verify certain things. So I'm not, we're not sponsored by Booking.com. I'm not promoting them. You do what you're comfortable with. But so far, they've been great.
Yeah. And, we've done a lot of bouts between hotels, and when we were on our way here, we were like not sure. I didn't want to, because we just brought carry-ons, no checked luggage, and I didn't bring any razors, anything like that. And if I wanted to go to the store and buy some razors, and we did, we ended up going to Don Quixote and buying some razors. But so far, every hotel we've been in has had razors and shaving cream, and that's not the case in America. I don't know I've ever been in a hotel that came with complimentary razors. But so far, everyone has had them. So
toothbrushes, toothpaste, combs, brushes. Really, unless you have a particular something that you like a particular cream you prefer, or maybe just a brand or prescription for you, you really don't need to bring that stuff. I haven't unpacked my toothbrush since I got here. I've been using the hotel toothbrushes because I'm like, hey, it's a new toothbrush every other day. So it's been great. I didn't need to pack deodorant. That's one thing I haven't seen here at any of the hotels. So yeah, maybe pick your favorite deodorant. But other than that, I think they've provided everything.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with the level of accommodations at the hotels. Just the little things like that you don't really see in the U.S. that much unless you're at a really high end place. But yeah, I could have packed basically my deodorant and probably my toothbrush just to be sure. And honestly, I probably didn't even need the toothbrush, but I probably could have packed about half the toiletries I brought. And
our contacts is kind of the only thing that was unique to
contacts,
us.
glasses, deodorant, and maybe some Q-tips. Or actually, no, we've had Q-tips.
They have Q-tips at every location.
Yeah, literally, my toiletry bag could have been like 3 items, maybe 4, and I would have been good. But I packed a lot more than I had needed, and I didn't realize it.
So what we did else to prepare after watching a bunch of videos, and I'm sure if you've done any research on traveling to Japan, you've seen this in videos yourself, is the all-important Suica card. S-U-I-C-A. It's got a little penguin on it. We don't have a physical card. You can get a physical card once you arrive in Japan, but I highly recommend you download the app on your phone. That's what it looks like. You just go to Transit. It's one of the transit cards. Make it your transit card. Turn on the express. We just tap and go all the turnstiles for all the trains, the local trains. We just tap and go. It's so convenient. You can use it at convenience stores, some of the vending machines, coin lockers for your luggage.
Buses.
Buses. It's just tap and go. You can put them on your watch, your phone, but holy cow, it's so nice. You don't even have to slow down. You just point and boom, you're through the turnstile. So a Suica card is a must. We loaded $100 each on our cards. And I think we're going to have probably $50 left over the way it's going, depending on how much we do in Tokyo at the end.
I think I've got like 12,000 yen left. I think we started with 15,000.
Yeah. Now, thankfully, at the end, we can use it to buy a bunch of stuff in Tokyo, so we can kind of use it up because you can't cash them out. Now, they last forever, so if you plan on coming to Japan again, it's still going to be there, but... so maybe start with $50 each if you're not going to use the trains that much, and then you can load as you go. But we'll be fine. We'll spend it, in Tokyo, no problem. So the JR Pass, we have so many stops. So we're going on a total of 6 different train locations. So we arrived in Tokyo. We took a train, Tokyo to Kyoto, and then of course Kyoto to Hakone, Hakone to Kanazawa, which is where we are now. And we're also going to take the train to Morioka, Aomori, and then back to Tokyo. Now, each one of those train segments can cost anywhere between $150 to $300. So if you go on the JR Pass website, you can calculate how much the tickets are going to be individually and see if it's worthwhile to do a pass. We did a 14-day pass, I believe, and we did Green Card, which is first class, which I highly recommend. If you can afford it. For us, it's our big anniversary trip, so I wasn't going to go cheap. I'm like, we're going big or we're not going. But I think we're like $700, and we have unlimited JR Pass trains for 14 days. Now, here is a trick that I am going to tell you about. If you just Google JR Pass or JR reservations, it's going to take you to a site that's not the official site. It's owned by, I think, a company in England or something like that. It's like jrpass.com. You have to go to the official site if you want to be able to make reservations ahead of time. So if you go Google JR Pass, it's going to take you to the site and you're going to think, oh, this is so easy. Because Japanese websites are notoriously difficult to use. They're terrible. So you go to this website and you're like, this is so easy. And then it says, oh, when you arrive, you can pick up your JR Pass and start making your reservations. It's like, what? I want to make my reservations before I travel. I want specific segments. I want to be in the first class car. So I did some research, and into the hidden depths of Reddit was this website. And you could just Google official JR Pass website, but it's jrrailpass.net and then /en for English. On this website, you can buy your JR Pass and you can start making your reservations 30 days out. So I had all of our reservations booked before we landed in Japan, and we picked up our JR Pass immediately, like the next morning, and we had them print out our first ticket. I probably would have had them print them out all of them, now that I think about it, because we did struggle a little bit. We'll talk about that later. But JR Pass is great. Unlimited train rides on any JR line. There's some nuances to it. I'm not going to get into it because, to be honest, I don't really understand it myself. But I made all of our reservations 30 days out, no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been great. And then the only other thing that we did that Kensho Quest recommended was we did get a new bank account. So we got a free bank account from Charles Schwab. You can sign up for a free checking account. And they automatically sign you up for an investment account too, but there's no fee involved. You don't have to put any money into it. So I loaded the checking account with the money I thought we would need cash to pull from an ATM. You do not want to get money when you're still in America. You'll have terrible exchange rates. You don't want to get money when you're at the airport. Again, terrible exchange rates. You go to any ATM at the convenience. I said conveni. That's how you say convenience store in Japanese, is conveni. So you go to the convenience stores, go to the ATMs, use the Charles Schwab card. There's no foreign transaction fees, and they reimburse you all your ATM fees. So, and you're getting a good rate at the convenience stores. So you get all your cash pulled out into yen that you need. I think we started with 100,000 yen, which is like about $600. And so far, I think we still have like $200 left. But oh my God, so I'm not going to pay any fees and I'm going to get a good rate. So I highly recommend that card. Again, we're not sponsored. Do your own research. Don't come at me if it doesn't work out for you. But so far the cards work great and we're not paying in those horrible extra fees. So
yeah, it was pretty easy. There was I think she had a little bit of trouble getting her pin in the ATM.
Yeah, I think I figured it, or the buttons were kind of.
And I was watching her, and I'm like, oh no, this isn't gonna work. And then she tried it again, and it worked like a charm.
Yeah.
But I'm a pessimist, and when it comes to that kind of things, I'm just like, oh my God, we're doomed. Everything's gonna suck. Yeah. But no, it worked out great.
Yeah. One other thing that we read about online and has worked out for us is we packed this little bathroom bag. We each have one. It's just a quart-sized little bag. Now, we bought this when we arrived because we went to a Don Quixote right away. And who doesn't want a hand towel from Japan, because they have adorable characters? But you're going to need a hand towel. A lot of bathrooms in Japan either just have dryers or they have nothing at all. So if you want to be able to dry your hands off or even wipe the sweat off when you're kind of sweaty, you're going to want a hand towel. I also have like little wipes. You can either get those sanitizing wipes, but if you want something potentially for your booty, here's, baby wipes as well. I also have hand sanitizer. A lot of the buildings here do have hand sanitizer at the entrance, but just in case, a lot of shrines and temples aren't going to have that option for you. And then who wants to carry around a thing of liquid soap? So I bought this from Amazon. They sent us like 8 or 10 of these things. And what they are is it's paper soap. So it just activates with water. A lot of the bathrooms here in Japan do not come with soap. A lot of them just have a toilet and maybe a sink. There's no soap. There's no way to dry your hands. So these have been great. We just keep them in our little bag and we just take the bag into the bathroom with us and we have everything we need.
Yeah. Yeah, the bathrooms here, the toilets are amazing. Like heated seats, bidets. When I get back home, I'm going to look into getting one at our house. I am in love with Japanese toilets. They're amazing.
Only other thing I have is these are small garbage bags. We were warned about trash cans. So far we haven't needed one, but I do carry it with me just in case if we need a trash bag or a bag for anything else. It's just a little roll of just tiny, bathroom-sized garbage bags.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of people travel content creators, they talk about the lack of trash cans. We haven't really ran into that problem. I think there was one when we were at the fish market. We had maybe like a can of beer or something and maybe some sticks that we held on to for like maybe 5-10 minutes till we...
And in the next stall, we were able to throw it away.
Till we found a place to throw it away. I had a can or something that I carried around for a few minutes, and then there was a recycling thing. A lot of the vending machines will have recycling things like next to them or around them, and I just, I carried it around for maybe 5 minutes and threw it in there. So we have not had that problem where we've had to carry around trash all day. Maybe, like I said, 10 minutes at the most, And a lot of times, if you buy something from a vendor or a convenience store, they'll have a trash can right there.
Yeah, you eat it there at
Yeah.
the stall, so then you throw it away when you're done.
Yeah, you're not supposed to walk around and eat or drink. I guess it's a social faux pas here. It's frowned upon. So if we get something and we want to consume it soon, we just stand there and drink it. Especially, the energy drinks here that I found, the Monsters, they're very small. I think they have limits on the amount of caffeine. So when I buy an energy drink or something, I usually just slam it right there in front of the store and we'll throw it in the store's recycling. So yeah, we have not had that problem.
No.
At all with trash cans.
Yeah, I mean, I think we went to one of the shrines and we had a hard time finding trash, but I think we had like a drink, and our day packs have spots for water bottles on both sides. So if we consume a drink and there's no trash, we just take it with us until we get back to our hotel or see a trash can near a convenience store or something like that. I'm not sure why people are having so many problems, but I also haven't had problems with bathrooms. The stations are full of them. Most restaurants seem to have them. There's a lot of
there have been some lines in the women's room a couple of times.
Yeah, it turns out that's not just an American problem. It's a Japanese problem too. There are lines for women's restrooms.
Yeah. And I had an interesting thing happen when we got here. We got to the train station. We get off the train. I want to go to the bathroom. There's a sign out front that says, "Watch your step, cleaning." I didn't think anything about it. It didn't say closed. It just said, "Watch your step." I walk in. There's somebody like on their hands and knees scrubbing one of the urinals. I saddle up to the urinal next to the one they're cleaning, and I look over and I'm like, that's a woman cleaning the men's urinal. So I went and used the stall. But when I came out, there were men using the urinal next to the lady that was scrubbing the urinal. Apparently that's okay here.
Yeah, it's a mind your business culture. So like they're just not gonna think about it or look at, it's just not a thing. It's everyone is in their own world. It's mind your business.
Yeah.
So it's not a problem here. There's even we won't be going to any. I went to one when I was here last time, but there's even co-ed, bathing facilities. So they're usually separated by, sometimes just like flags or something like that. But it's just not a problem here. There's co-ed bathrooms, including urinals, so you have to walk by that. But next on my list is just a little language preparation. So we've both been doing Duolingo. Japanese is brand new to Beans. I still remember some, and a lot of it was coming back to me as I was learning. But we started, I think we're at 250 days
almost
into it. Yeah, so pretty much as soon as we knew we were coming, we started practicing. And I think the words we're using the most, I would say, would be like, excuse me, sumimasen, thank you, arigato gozaimasu. Now, you're going to hear a lot of people say arigato. That's kind of among friends. I really recommend adding the gozaimasu to it. You're going to find as attendants will thank you. The hotels you're going to, restaurants.
You'll hear that word over and over.
And they're going to say arigato gozaimasu.
Yeah.
So say arigato gozaimasu back. Don't be so informal and say arigato.
Every time you walk into a business, every time you buy something at a business, arigato gozaimasu.
Yeah, thank you.
They're going to say it over and over again. You're going to hear it over and over. And that will be the one phrase that you will pick up on your own without any help.
Yeah, and of course, please. So like kudasai, there's two different ones, and don't worry if you don't get the right one. I'm still trying to remember and learn too. Kudasai is usually like when you're ordering something, versus onegashimasu is more like, hey, like I'm asking for a favor. Yeah. Another one that I've used a lot, especially since we're together, if I want to order two of something, I learned how to say, like, I would like two of those. So it's called futatsu. So if we both want something, I can say in Japanese, like, futatsu, like, I want two of those, So hitotsu is one, but that's been really useful, is being able to order, two of something. And I guess the other one would be sorry, gomenasai. Is sorry, which we haven't used too much. Most of the time you just say sumimasen, like excuse me, but gomenasai. And then I think how to ask where something is.
Yeah, doko.
Doko.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
we were trying to find our platform for the train. I had the ticket.
Yeah.
I didn't know, so basically just walked up to the attendant and just pointed at the ticket and said doko, and he sure enough, he pointed us in the right direction.
Yeah.
So it's like pigeon English, or pigeon. You're just like, where, how,
Yeah.
where,
Yeah,
like,
it's super basic. They
but
don't
people,
care.
you can get the point across, and usually they appreciate it if you at least try.
Yeah, we do have Google Translate on our phones, but we have really been only using it for was for signs. We actually haven't been using Google Translate on how to say something, because really the basics will do you. You don't really need to know that many phrases to get around. And most Japanese, especially in the hospitality industry, speak some English, and even the ones who don't, like, have basics, because English is something that's learned in the schools here.
Yeah, and we did have a pretty unique situation earlier where we were in line. We were in this bakery line, and we're walking through, and they had all these goods laid out in the case, and the line's moving, and there was like 3 things that we wanted, but the line's moving, so we can't point to them.
And I can't read kanji. I only know a few kanji. I can read hiragana, no problem, but I cannot read the kanji, and it was all in kanji. I was like, I don't know how to say this.
So by the time we got to where we were going to order, it's too far to point, so there's too many people in line. I mean, we don't want to like push all those people out of the way and go point to what we want. So what we did is I took my phone out, and I was like, what do you want? That? Okay. And I took pictures of everything she wanted. And when we got to the front of the line, I just showed the worker, I showed her the pictures, and just one of everything, and we got everything we wanted. It was a think on your feet, adapt and overcome situation, but it worked out great.
Yeah, I think that's about it as far as prep goes. I just made sure that I had hotels booked, train tickets booked, of course, flights. Don't forget, there's a big time difference. We lost a day, so I had to mentally wrap my brain around the fact that we stopped in Hawaii to take a little bit of a break, and Beans has never been to Hawaii before, so he can mark it off his 50 states. Check mark. And of course, we went to Pearl Harbor Memorial, which was amazing. I've always wanted to go there, but so yeah, be careful with your flights, because you're probably going to depart the U.S. and arrive in Japan not the next day, but the day after. So be careful when you're booking your hotel. And then same thing on the way back. We're going to gain a day. We're going to leave Tokyo, I think, at 4 p.m. and arrive in Hawaii at 10 a.m. that same day, despite an 8-hour flight.
Yeah.
So it's trippy. Yeah.
And I just make sure when you make your flight arrangements, look, when are you landing? What time and day are you landing? And then go from there with your hotel arrangements. And also, we're schemers, we're planners, we're not seat of we don't do seat of our pants stuff. We like to have plans and
A, B, and C. I always
structure.
A, B, and C.
Yeah, we like to have structure. We're not our scariest words we can hear is we'll figure it out when we get there.
No.
So we like to have a clear idea. We're not one of those we don't have every second of every day accounted for, but the essentials, lodging, and is there somewhere we want to eat, so that we can work it in while we're there. But we like to have a plan, at least, not a super structure like we're going to do this at 8:45, we're going to do this at 8:50, nothing like that. But we'd like to know where we're going, know where we're going to stay, know what time we're traveling, give ourselves plenty of time to get there, leave early, all that stuff. And we enjoy the structure. We don't like sweating, oh my God, we're not going to make it. And, some people aren't like that. Yeah.
So now, depending on where you're coming from, for us, it wasn't too bad, because Alaska is, west side of the U.S., our time difference isn't that bad. We're actually really just a day off from Japan, minus 6 hours. And because we stopped in Hawaii, which is 2 hours behind Alaska, and we spent a few days there, we actually only just lost a day and then 4 hours. So when we arrived in Tokyo, it was evening, and it was evening for us, in our sleep patterns. So we didn't have jet lag bad. I've heard that some people coming from the East Coast, it really messes with them. So I would highly recommend. We did this, and we didn't even have jet lag. We stayed at the airport. So the airport has an amazing hotel, and we flew into Haneda. Narita is not a practical location. And for some reason, Haneda is even less expensive a lot of times. I recommend flying into there. It's strategically a great location, and they have the most amazing hotel in the airport. So we got off our plane. We didn't check luggage, so we just had our carry-on, got right through customs. You need your passport. They're going to fingerprint you, take your face. Thankfully, there's tons of staff around, so if you get confused, don't hesitate to ask. And our hotel was right there. We got checked in, dropped off our luggage. They had a bunch of food courts there. We picked something to eat, and it was so nice just to be able to go to bed. Yeah.
And speaking of passports, I'm not a big international traveler. I think I've been to like 3 countries, 4
Mexico and Canada.
Yeah. And but here, when you check into a hotel, they want to see your passport.
Every time.
They make a copy of it.
Everyone in the party.
They track you. Well, I don't know if I don't know if they're actively tracking you, but they're keeping track of where you're going and where you're staying.
Yeah.
We're unlike America, where it's just once you get through the gate, it's just
Yeah, none ya business.
I'm going that way, and you're not going to know where.
Yeah.
So that was a little surprising, and it's not that big of a deal. I don't care. I mean,
I knew it was going to happen, but
it was a little like, really, you want my passport? Because your passport, like, I'm not giving anybody my passport, and that's the first thing they ask for when you get to a hotel.
There's tons of videos on this, so I'm not going to go into great detail, but your immigration, so you can do it online now. So just Google Japan immigration, and you just fill out this form, and it's going to want to know where you're staying, so just pick your first hotel, but you fill it out online. I think you can do it up to like 45, 60 days ahead of time. We did, I think, 10 days out. You get a QR code. You're going to scan that QR code at customs. It's so easy. It's already all filled out. It made it so fast and simple. So don't forget to do that. Search someone else's video for details, but just don't forget to do that. That was something we prepared for. And if you don't want to pay taxes while in Japan for larger purchases or tax-free products you're going to bring back to the U.S., you have to get a traveler stamp. Do you have your passport handy? Well, it's okay. It's okay. So they have the new machines now where they just they do scan your face, but then there's another section you go through and you can just get your picture taken again. You want to see a person because you're going to get this little temporary stamp that allows you to then once you get to Japan and get through customs, when you're ready, you go back to the immigration website and you fill out the tax-free section, and it has you scan that traveler pass from your passport. You take a photo with your phone, and now we don't have to pay taxes on larger purchases. So it will save you money because tax, I think, is 10% or something like that. And I think it's for items over 5,000 yen, I believe, which is like $40, I believe. But anyways, I just remembered that. Don't forget to do that. So observations once we arrived. You mentioned the passports. Hotels here expect you to check out in person. It's not like in America where you just leave the key cards in the room and you disappear into the night. It's like
we had one hotel where we could check out over the TV.
Oh, that's right. We checked out over the TV. They expect you to check out in person, and oftentimes it's partially because they have an accommodation tax that is not charged usually when you do your booking. You pay it when you check in or sometimes when you check out. It's very small. I think it's like been $3 a night or something like that. It's very inexpensive, but they want you to check out in person. So don't just dip. Like, actually take your keys to the front desk and check out. Make sure everything's square, so that way there's not an APB out for this stupid tourist who didn't pay their accommodation tax and they're coming to get you. Google Maps. So we do have a file on our phones called Japan where we downloaded particular apps, and Google Maps is one of them. You probably already have it on your phone, but I moved it to my Japan folder so I had easy access to it. You will use Google Maps every time you step outside.
Well, we also, our phones, we opted for the international plan. We have AT&T.
Yeah, a bunch of research we did. People were like, "Oh, do Wi-Fi, pockets, or do an eSIM," which I guess eSIM works for some people, but don't you get like a Japanese number or something like that? I don't like that idea. Right. But if you have AT&T, you can do the international package. Our phones worked instantly. They work just like how they do back home. No problem.
I think they might be a little slower. I think I've noticed a little bit of a lag. Slow. But, I mean, it does everything.
It might be the buildings, to be honest. There's a lot of concrete around.
But it does everything. It works just like it does back home. I think it just is a little bit slower, maybe. I've noticed we don't always have 5G. Most of the time it's like LTE. Yeah. But, I mean,
that happens in Alaska, too, to be honest.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, our phone service isn't that great in Alaska either.
Yeah, that's a good. I forgot about the phone plan. I'm so glad we didn't do a Wi-Fi pocket or an eSIM or something like that. I think it's costing us $18 a day. So it's $12 for the first phone, $6 for the second phone, and they only charge you for the first 10 days. So it's going to cost us $180 to not have to think about our phones at all. They just work, which is great when you're in a foreign country. But yeah, Google Maps. So you are going to want Google Maps. It's great for showing you what station to go to and what line to get on. So it'll say like, D10 is, and it's the blue line. And, it was great in Tokyo especially. And then it's like, you're going to get off at D12. So that's 2 stops. Well, okay, that is great. But Google Maps will not help you once you're in the station. Sometimes it'll say like exit the west gate when you're leaving. But there's no like, hey, when you get to the station, go down this escalator, take a left. No, once you're in the station, you're on your own. Look for signs. It's okay if you get a little lost. We've gotten lost a couple times for a few minutes. Like we took a wrong turn. We guessed 50-50 and we guessed wrong. Ask staff. They're so nice here.
Well, I will say about that, the signage here, it's, people will tell you like, oh, there's signs. It's great that there's signs and it's pretty foreign friendly or English friendly. Not really. I mean, there's signs. There are signs, and you have to look for them. But it's not like in America. In America, they'll hold your hand and walk you through where you need to go. And here, it seems like there's an arrow. It's like it's in that general direction, and you got to figure the rest out. It's almost like Lewis and Clark, kind of like, okay, we got to bear west here, and it's somewhere in this vicinity. And sometimes, especially with these train stations, they'll have you go down a flight of stairs, and then you need to button hook around and go like behind you the other way or something to go get to the platform you need to get to or the exit you need to get to. So, there'll just be a arrow that points down the stairs, and then the sign saying, hey, you need to go this way is around the corner and you can't really see it. So it's almost go in that general direction and figure the rest out. There's no hand holding as far as signs go.
Maybe people from bigger cities might have more of a knack for it. Like we're small town people. Yeah. There are no trains where we live, no
public transport.
Yeah, it's like everyone owns their own car. So this is a new concept for us, but I think we're doing pretty good. But like today, so we had a transfer. We went from Hakone to Tokyo to get to Kanazawa, and when we got to Tokyo, it's a different train. We went from the Hikari train to like the Hokokura train. So you get to the station, it's not on the board yet. Like it's not on the boards we could see. We're like, where are we supposed to go? Like we're supposed to choose, like go to this direction for these, trains and go, but not the trains. It's actually the stations. So I actually asked ChatGPT, I'm like, what station, like what line is my, and it told me what it was. There it is on the board. Not our train and our train number, but the line,
which was not on the ticket.
Which is not on the ticket. So don't be afraid if you're not seeing what you're looking for. Ask a staff member, ask your AI or Google, and it will help guide you to where to look. And sure enough, as soon as ChatGPT said, "Hey, it's this line," we saw the line. As soon as we got there, there's our board with our train, that platform. So we got it. But that's kind of what we've been experiencing.
It's not. There's not a lot of hand holding, especially with signage.
Yeah.
You get a general idea basically of what direction you need to go in,
so
and you kind of got to figure the rest out.
Yeah. So. Give yourself time is what that means. Basically, what we're saying is just give yourself a little bit of a buffer to make mistakes.
I think we've given ourselves about an hour, maybe a little more, to get to the train station and figure out where we're supposed to be. And it has, we do have to wait around a little bit once we figure out where we're supposed to be. Yeah. But in my opinion, it's worth it just for that peace of mind that you're not going to make a mad dash. You're not going to miss your train. You're going to be where you need to be. When you need to be there.
Yeah, especially some of these trains, like we're zipping around. Coming from Alaska, we live in such a large state. It takes so long just to get what seems like a short distance. We just went from because we had to go backtrack to Tokyo to get here. We went from the southeast corner of Japan across the entire country to the northwest. We went from one coast to the other, and it was a 3-hour train, bullet train. That's how far we went. It's like, that's crazy to me.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. We were at the station today waiting for the train, and other bullet trains were going by, and we hadn't really experienced that yet before.
Not full speed.
Yeah, not at full speed. Like they were not stopping; they were just going straight through. And it actually made me a little like nauseous watching the trains go by.
It's so fast.
And I was like, it's like hundreds of
Those
miles
aren't
an
even
hour.
the fastest that they can go to. It's crazy. So things that we've observed again, Japan is organized chaos. So Tokyo is the largest city in the world, and it didn't even feel like it. No, don't get me wrong. There were a lot of people, but it didn't feel like it's the largest city in the world. It's very organized. People are organized. Now, of course, there's going to be some exceptions to that. Every once in a while, I'll have a person bump into me, even a local. They do live, it seems like, especially younger generations, their head is down in their phone almost all the time, even when they're walking through the train stations. So just, be careful. Not because you have any sense of danger, but you just want to be careful you're not accidentally, bumping into someone. And as Americans, we are quite large. We're much taller than most of the Japanese that are here. I want to be careful I'm not accidentally bumping into someone and sending them across the train station. Like the people are much smaller than us, so you have to be careful. Be aware of your surroundings. And we have the big backpacks on our back. I want to be careful I'm not hitting anyone with them. I think I've hit a couple of shelves at the convenience store, but so far that's about it. But no, it's organized chaos. It's a lot of people. There's been a couple local trains we've been on in Tokyo where it was the people were pressed up against me in the front and the back, but it's not uncomfortable. It gets a little warm if you have a bunch of stops, but it's so safe here. Like there's no sense of danger or foreboding. We were walking at like midnight across Kyoto at one point, and no, you're perfectly fine. Of course, don't let your guard down too much, but it's not like any major city in America where you're
there's like women walking by at midnight by themselves and riding bicycles and
it's no problem. Another thing is there's so much food here and so many choices. You're probably going to feel intimidated where to start, what to do. I just recommend if you see something you want, get it, because you might not see it somewhere else unless it's a common item like at the convenience stores. You can always get an egg sandwich, or rice balls or something like that. But if you see something you want, get it. I recommend small amounts of food, especially the markets. We like to go to the popular markets and get samples of stuff, like even if we're just sharing something, because you're going to want to eat so much and there's only so much time in the day and so much room in your stomach. So I just recommend small things throughout the day, and if you see it, get it, because you might not see it the next place either. Like there's even been some stuff at the convenience stores that I've looked for and I'm like, hey, it was at the last one but not this one. So you just never know. Also about convenience stores, almost all of them are open 24/7. There's been a couple that have closed late at night in some of the smaller areas, smaller towns, I've noticed. Like in Hakone, the 7-Eleven we went to closed, I think, at 10. So they're open 24/7. Feel free to go there and get something to eat. And also the ATMs are there as well. And we've been using them for like, if we don't have time to get breakfast the next morning because maybe we have something planned or we're getting on the train, we're going there and we're getting what we want. To eat.
These are not like American 7-Elevens.
No.
Okay? It's not even the same. They're in name only. It is nothing it's nothing like an American 7-Eleven. It is another world, and the food is amazing that you get it. I mean, at a 7-Eleven, it's crazy.
Yeah. No, I think the only thing I'd recommend is be prepared for your train ride. Some of them are shorter, some of them are longer. We've been on 30-minute ones and we've been on 3-hour ones. We have a 4-hour one coming up here in about 4 nights. We're going to go really far. They're called Ekiben, or bento boxes at the train stations. They're all over the place. Highly recommend you purchase yourself an Ekiben, a couple of snackies like some rice balls, maybe something sweet. There's tons of baked goods. Don't forget your drink. You are allowed to eat on the train. You are not allowed to eat on the local trains or subways or buses, but you can eat on the longer haul trains, the Shinkansens. They even have a tray for you to put your drink and food on. But I think that's about it that I can think of right now for advice.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll be back with another part of our Japan series, and we're going to start talking our way through our trip and where we've been and what we've done, what we experienced, and we'll catch up with you then.
Sounds good.